Good morning. What is good with everybody this morning? All right, look like people, I didn't get comments until it was time to start today, man. I hope that means hope that's a sign of a great show. We got a lot to talk about. There's going to be really good fight. Well, I don't know if they're good fights, but they're going to be fights, fights that are talked about a lot this weekend. Let me go over to my channel, man. More than likely, this thing is going to have a delay, so just give me 1 second. Still, all these live streams that I'm doing, man, I'm still trying to figure out how to do live streams. Ain't that crazy? Ridiculous. But try to get a lot of work in. That's what's up. So cool. And I chose a chat. And look, I tried to do everybody a favor. I did a topic which will not usually get a lot of views, but I wasn't going to do this in a video, so I wanted to talk about it today ahead of this Canelo Alvarez fight. And that is Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua lying about dropping these belts in this heavyweight division. See, I've been doing a lot of videos about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo and Jaron Ennis. And I didn't want you guys to think that I forgot about cheating ass Tyson Fury and his attempt to get over and steal these belts from Deontay Wilder, and the fact that the WBC, and it seems like everybody else around this joint is in cahoots with that nonsense. You know? Frank the Trucker in the building says, salute Fannon and the chat. Good morning and peace, everybody. Much love in that super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's going on, John Doe in the building? What's going on? Chilling, man. We're gonna have a slow morning because I didn't put Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford in the title. So, man, what's going on, man? This shit look like it's. Why do I have CC? I don't want closed caption on my video. It's just like it's going extra slow because there's closed caption on it or something. Man, will you get this closed caption crap up off my out my experience? Hold on. Man, they ruining my experience with these caps. Anyway, we'll push on. What's going on, Marcus the Villain? How you feeling, man? Queen71 said, good morning, Fannon in the chat. Smash. Yes, sir. So, look, I've seen a lot of videos being made about what's going on, D Walker? How you feeling this morning? Hope you guys can see me well. Hold on 1 second. Let me lift this seat. There you go. That feels a little more comfortable. I got to get a heavy-duty seat. My wife bought me this one, and it is giving in already. Man, please, we coming in, whatever the title is. That's what's up. I appreciate that, Queen71. He said, fuck a title. We coming on in this joint. That's what's up. Well, look, man, we're going to talk about Anthony Joshua, dog. Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua up there lying. Or not Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn up there lying. Because you hear like one person on the team say one thing and you hear another person on the team say something else. Eddie Hearn is like that same person, but the team is in his head. So like he'll say one thing today and say something completely different tomorrow, right? That's usually that's Bob Arum. Bob Arum will say something today and then tomorrow he'll say something like completely different, right? But the difference between him and Eddie Hearn is Eddie Hearn will say something in one half of the conversation, and then by the time you get to the end of the conversation, he will have switched and then switched back and then switched back again, leaving you like, dude, he has got to be inspired by Don King. Don King used to talk and say nothing at all for like 5 minutes whenever you ask him a question. Hey, Don, what do you think? And Don would like, in his mind, I can see him pulling out the dictionary and then just starting reading it. It just starts reading the dictionary until the people get sick of asking the question. You know? What's going on, Underground Asylum? Southern T Boxing in the building. What's going on, man? King Vonnie, what's good? Oh, man, I wish Mipikwa, Muzukis. What's good, man? Asante L, what's going on? Shout out in Cleveland. Yeah, I got a video doing a lot of views, so it's gonna be a smaller chat because there's a lot of people like that usually will watch the chat that I think are watching this video that I did about Canelo Canelo Alvarez. Laughing at your boy Jamal Charlo. Hearn talks you around the block to go nowhere. No doubt about it, he does it. But in this one, he says something like, he basically does, and shout out to Steve J. I think Steve J was the one that originally sent me this. Jay Watt says, salute for 9 in the chat members. Time to hit him with the facts, bro. Hit that like button. Yes, sir. And tweak them analytics. Much love in that super chat. And the way that you tweak the analytics is please join my Instagram. That's my preferred analytic of the day. If you don't know what analytics and metrics are, if you have a business and you want to measure your success on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis or a month-to-month basis, understand the concept of metrics and analytics. They are often used in sports unnecessarily and excessively to give nerds from Princeton and Yale a job in sports because their daddy wants them to have one. So they just be like, hey, make up a bunch of fucking numbers and fuck up the game of basketball, rich son of mine. That's what the fuck they be doing. Okay, with that bullshit. I'm not talking about those type of analytics. The bullshit, unnecessary shit that they use as an excuse to mold the game the way they want it. You know, I saw a shot chart for a basketball game in the NBA, and I was disgusted. The majority of the shots were either right at the goal or beyond 3-point line, and there was only a spattering of little shots in mid-range. And I was like, that's them fucking analytics for you. That's them fucking Yale people. They start with the fucking conclusion that they want. They make the fucking analytics work that way, and then they dictate how the games are played. So these motherfuckers want these Eastern Europeans to have a shot at being the best players in the NBA. So all that shit in the mid-range, they analyzed it out of existence. Okay? They didn't say, oh, look how much this works so much better because we see the analytics. No, it was the other fucking way around. They justify that bullshit with analytics. It's a terrible fucking game though, dog. Anyway, sorry. Boxing Fan USPR said, good morning, Fannon, and Fannon, the truth in boxing coverage. Good morning to the people in the chat. Yes, sir, we shall shoot it straight from the hip early in the AM. Please follow me on Instagram. That may be coming across corny because I'm trying to, but for real, I got a lot of really good stuff coming out on the Instagram. I got Fannon Fantasy Fights on the Instagram, and we can't even talk about Fannon Fantasy Fights yet because all you guys ain't on the Instagram. So when I drop these Fannon Fantasy Fights, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, okay? So I need for people that are regularly coming to the chat to sign up to the Instagram because I want to be able to talk about some of these fantasy fights that I got up there. John Doe said, I agree. Yeah, mid-range is a lost art. Yeah, it's a lost art in boxing too. It's a lost art in boxing. They heavily discourage mid-range and in close fighting in the heavyweight division, the way that they referee it. I'm telling you, man, you can bend the sports by bending the rules. The best way to cheat is to change the rules. Best way to give people an advantage is to change the rules and write the rules in a way where it rewards the behaviors that you want and it punishes the behaviors that you don't want. For example, in the NBA, if you really want long-range shooting to be the priority so you can get the score up, so you can say, ooh, look how many highlights we can get on ESPN, right? Ooh, 3. Truth be told, that the highlights on NBA are like the fucking exact opposite of the actual games. So like, that's why I stopped watching the NBA, because I'll go watch the fucking highlights. Because that's individual trick shots damn near are the only thing fucking attractive about the shit. It's terrible, dog. I'm telling you, shit is terrible. Hell yeah, Kane the bad guy. Stop staring and hit that like button. Yes, sir. Yeah, he said you hit the hit nail on the head with the NBA analytics. Yeah, they do that shit in boxing too. They're all like with that punch stat bullshit. Like CompuBox and punch tracking, that is trying to convince you of what they think the fucking outcome should be because they count shit in a ridiculous manner. Like, how in the world do you count every punch that is not a jab as a power shot? That is bullshit. It should be a power shot if there's some power behind the shot. Is that what they mean by it? No. They mean if somebody throws a little shot like this, just sticks his hand out like this and taps you on the glove, that's a power shot. And you'd be like, oh, he's outdoing him in the power shots. What do you mean? He's not, first of all, he ain't hurt. There ain't no power on the shot. You know what I'm saying? That's like counting Paulie Malignaggi power shots. There ain't no power shots from Paulie Malignaggi. They're all blanks, okay? There ain't no power shots from Paulie Malignaggi. Okay, that's why he's getting beat up. That's why he gets beat up by bare knuckle fighters, okay? Man, good morning, Fannon the Don. It's all, what is it? Germantria? What's Germantria? I gotta check that up. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sports are very subjective. They are, especially boxing. Well, no, the rules are what the rules are. But anyway, we're not going to keep going on rules forever. I just wanted to tell you that that Eddie Hearn was not serious in any way, shape, nor form about dropping those belts. That is ridiculous. All he did was steal a line from Floyd Mayweather Jr., do an impersonation of Floyd Mayweather Jr. in a speech. Because if you think about what he said, it's ridiculous. Because the only reason Eddie Hearn is sitting there is because of the sanctioning bodies. If there was no sanctioning bodies forcing people to fight certain people, ranking certain fighters in certain ways, how could Eddie Hearn have 3 belts? His whole fucking claim to fame is that Anthony Joshua got all 3 belts and how hard they worked for all 3 belts. And all of a sudden you're saying, well, maybe we'll just throw the belts away. And then you start talking about those 3 belts again? Man, get the fuck out of here. The sanctioning bodies are there probably because the promoters want them there. Because the promoters, think about it, who profits the most from the existence of a sanctioning body? The promoter does. Because the promoter is getting paid the same way the sanctioning body is getting paid. They're getting paid off a percentage of the total purse of a fight, regardless of whether they're paying a fighter a fixed fee or not. The promoter is getting paid as a percentage of the total value of the total amount of the revenue, right? You have costs, you've got expenses. I mean, you got costs, you got sources of income. The boxer's the source of an income. The tickets and the pay-per-view are the sources of income. The fighter, the food, the whatever, the promotional costs, those are expenses. And the difference of that, he's going to get. That, my friend, is going to be calculated in a percentage, right? It's going to be 15% net profit, 20% net profit, right? Whatever it is. He's going to get paid a percentage, right? Whatever the percentage, the profit is. So it's always that way for him. So when he's dealing with the sanctioning body that gets a smaller percentage, you're actually talking about him working with somebody that's operating off of basically the same priorities. The promoter and the sanctioning body really do work hand in hand, except for in the instance where they have competing promoters promoting with the sanctioning body. The sanctioning body doesn't even seem like they're behind the notion of individual fighters going off and doing whatever they want to do and not being associated with promoters. They can feed them fighters on a regular basis, right? Just like what? Look at the relationship. Look at the relationship between Bob Arum and the WBO. That is complete. It's synchronous. My man, Dark Truth, in that super chat said, Fannon, did you hear Loma feels the judges was bribed by his loss to Tio? I feel Tio won fairly, but did Lomachenko chickens come home to roost? I think Lomachenko is right. I agree with Lomachenko. Of course he got robbed. I don't know if it was the scoring card or not, but I knew he wasn't going to win that fight unless he knocked Teofimo Lopez's ass out. He got robbed. He got set up by the fucking book, by everything. He got set up by the matchmakers. Dude, this shit was hilarious, dog. Hilarious. Because sometimes, dude, I like Ellie Setback, but other times I'm like, dog, you kind of slow, huh? Should I say I feel bad saying I think sometimes he's kind of slow. Either he's faking it or sometimes I think, man, yeah, quicken it up a little bit. He was having a conversation with Robert Garcia, right? Robert Garcia is the coach, is the trainer of Mikey Garcia. He's the son of is it Eduardo Garcia? But the trainer, man, please forgive me if I didn't remember his father's name correctly, but I think it's Eduardo Garcia, and his Eduardo Garcia was the trainer for Fernando Vargas, right? Is the brother of Mikey Garcia, just definitely a future Hall of Famer trainer, and along with Eddie Reynoso, definitely one of the top Mexican trainers, following in the footsteps of the great Nacho Beristain and others like that. See, I can spiel the bio. Anyway, the bio aside, what Robert Garcia says was that that Top Rank has some of the best matchmakers ever. And I'm getting, in dark truth, all of this is to answer your super chat. So he said that Top Rank has the best matchmakers. He was like, yeah, man, their matchmakers are like fucking incredible. And it's like they can even name the round. I was like, they can even name the round? He's like, yeah, it's like they can even name the round. And that's true, right? Their matchmakers are excellent, dog. They know what they're doing when they put somebody in that ring, dog. Like, dude, some of y'all don't see patterns. These dudes see patterns. They see what the fighter's doing. They know what the fight's going on with the fighter in the gym. They know the timing of them in their career. They can tell how they'll do with certain matchups. These dudes are like boxing heads. You know what I mean? These dudes know boxing. So when they put Teofimo Lopez in with Vasily Lomachenko, dog, I knew it. I was like, come on, man. You think these dudes are going to put that young man in there with Vasily Lomachenko if they don't think he's going to win? Man, get out of here. Now, and I'm not saying it has to be because they were going to cheat him. But, dude, look at the way Lomachenko didn't fight any different than he always fought. No different than he always fought. He is in the first couple rounds of the fight. He is feeling the person out. He's changing angles. Well, really, he's trying to change angles and really jump on you and get ahead on the scoring cards, on the cards. Much love to the new member in the building. My man, Pugilism and Politics. Man, what's good, man? Oh, members, channel members, and Patreons, today, the final version of the Sneaky Punch video and the Scandals of Tyson Fury come out today on Patreon, and it comes out in the members channel on the members. So keep your lookout for that later today on the channel. And thank you, Pugilism and Politics, and thank you, Dark Truth, for the support. And I ain't counting likes, but hit the like. And if you ain't hit the like, hit the Instagram. Follow on Instagram. So yeah, back to your thing. So I don't know if he was bribed. I don't think they had to bribe him, right? But look, man, do you remember this movie? Do you remember the scene in Rocky? You remember who Mikey? You guys got to tell me first, because I'm going to say these names, but I know y'all ain't really into boxing like I'm into boxing, so y'all wouldn't really know who this is, because y'all are y'all by and large are like some rookies out there. So, do you guys know who Mickey Goldmill is? I bet y'all don't know who Mickey Goldmill is. And what Mickey Goldmill said to his fighter. He said, "He'll kill you, Rock. He'll kill you, Rock." Remember that guy? All right, y'all didn't get it quick enough. So I will tell you who it is. Mickey Goldmill is Mickey from the Rocky movies. And Mickey told you what a matchmaker's job was. John Doe said, "In support of a great show, keep doing your thing, sir." Thank you, John Doe. 813 in the building. Much love in that super chat. Exactly. It's Rocky's trainer, right? Rocky's trainer. Rocky said, the whole conversation was, "Hey, Rocky, you can't fight Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang is going to beat you up. You're not going to win that fight." And Rocky was like, "Man, I don't care about that dude. I've won 10 straight title defenses." And Rocky looks at him, and Mickey looks at him like, "Dude, they were setups. They were setups. These were guys, you could beat all those guys. So this guy is different. And he was like, it was a setup. He was like, they were bums. He's like, no, Rocky, they were good fighters, Rocky. He said, they were good fighters, Rocky. You beat them, Rocky. But come on, man, you haven't been hungry since the Clubber Lang fight. And you ain't been hungry since the Apollo. You should have died in the Apollo Creed fight too. You should have died, Rock. And you ain't been hungry since then. So he said, it's my job to keep you healthy and to protect you. I'm telling you, that's matchmaking. So Rocky didn't know. This is why this story is important, because Rocky didn't know that was going on. He thought really that he was the man. He was the man. So that could tell you that in certain circumstances, Lomachenko might not know the favoritism that he's been getting, because dog, he got a lot of favoritism, dog. All of that, like, you know what I mean? And if you listen to what like Ivan Redcash says about Lomachenko, Ivan Redcash is a fighter that got knocked out by Danny Garcia, that's in a back and forth, might be somebody that Adrian Broner's going to fight, but he's a fighter from the Ukraine, and who was on the Olympic team with Lomachenko, and he can't stand Lomachenko because he's like, Lomachenko's always been privileged. They always give him what he wants, right? He always gets what he wants. So, you know, Lomachenko has come up through a very, very, very privileged boxing career, getting a fight in his second chance. Dog, Lomachenko actually thinks he deserves a shot at a championship in his second fight. Then he might actually believe that, you know, he got cheated, right? But really, dog, you lost that fight. But you didn't just lose the fight because of the scoring. You got beat because you're smaller, you're older. The guy has seen you fight 9 million times, and they let him get an opportunity to fight you. Lomachenko should have known that there was a problem as soon as Bob Arum let him fight Teofimo Lopez, because Bob Arum is on record as having said that he doesn't let his young fighters fight a championship unless there's an 80% chance that he will win. Which is why in the time that he said it was when he was talking about Shakur Stevenson, and he was talking about Mick Conlan from the Irish fighter who turned pro around the same time as Shakur Stevenson, who, and early on in his career when Top Rank was getting featured prominently. But Bob Arum was like, Mick Conley's not ready. We're not going to put him in a title shot until we're like 80% sure that he's going to win. So, you know, that there tells you right there that how much value those guys put on their matchmakers. And so Lomachenko shouldn't have been surprised, man. You just got to pay attention to the decisions that people make, right? Like, I don't have to know exactly what it is that these matchmakers see in Lomachenko or saw in Teofimo Lopez. What a reasonable person should know is look at the last 100 fights that Top Rank has made, and what happens more often. What happens most often? Most often, I bet you 90% of the time, the Top Rank puts a young fighter in for a championship, that young fighter wins. It's going to be like a 90% time. Because why? Because Bob Arum said if it's 80%, if we're not 80% sure that they're going to win, we won't put them in there. So that tells you that that the best matchmakers on the planet, okay? Because Top Rank got the best matchmakers on the planet. They, like I said, they know boxing. That's why they had that no black fighter stuff up in their offices back in the day, because they're like, no black fighters. Well, why do you think that the best matchmakers in the world would say no black fighters? I don't think the best matchmakers in the world would say no black fighters just because they don't like black people. They would say no black fighters because they're going to beat our guys, because you can't account for athleticism. All of the shit that these dudes are doing can be offset by somebody that can stay out of range, right? Just off their pure athleticism, because it's only for a set amount of time. If it's a southpaw, somebody that can fight on the outside, how can you, from an analytics standpoint, how could you predictably predict that outcome? How can you be 80% sure that your fighter is going to beat an extremely athletic southpaw that can stay in and out of range anytime? How is it possible to gauge that 80% of the time? And that's right out of Bob Arum's mouth. See, that's analytics. Look at the numbers that they have. They are dealing in percentages. So, of course, Lomachenko, dude, that, you know, they were all setups, Terrence, all bums, Al, huh? Duh. They were all setups, Terrence, all bums, Al, duh. What? You think they did? Now, see, that's a problem. That is a problem, man. Canelo fears Jamal. I think Canelo, I got a video coming up about that. Y'all watch my video that comes up later today. And by the way, if you don't super chat, and I never ask for super chats, right? If you don't cash app, and I never ask for cash apps, I really appreciate them. Please watch the videos, share the videos. The quality of the videos is getting better. I'm less garbage than I was yesterday. So share the videos, subscribe to follow on Instagram. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. You're way wrong on this. What am I way wrong on? Cecil Fielder. Cecil Fielder, the great baseball player. Hey man, if he got cheated, he got cheated. Look into it. I'm just not gonna brush off Lomachenko. Man, dude, Lomachenko deserves a rematch though. But Cecil Fielder, what am I wrong on? I guarantee you that I'm not wrong on any of that. That's basic boxing. You could pick up a manual and people will explain exactly what I said to you. Okay? Go ask them. I thought about being a matchmaker. I think I'd be a pretty decent matchmaker. Especially if I got enough money. I'd be a hell of a matchmaker. But I was waiting for you to tell me what I was wrong about. I like to know when I'm wrong so I can correct it. Or I can correct you. Real boxing analysts would know that Canelo is the underdog against Jamal. Let me tell you what I would tell you. No, real boxing analysts could think either one. However, I will tell you what the Canelo kryptonite is. Because Canelo's got a kryptonite. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. See, not a lot of y'all know that Canelo Alvarez's weakness has already been exposed. And Eddie Reynoso has been protecting Canelo from his weakness for several years now. Okay? For several years now. And anybody that exhibits this quality is going to be very difficult to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Main Event Mark said, Fannon, a good matchmaker does very well financially. Yeah, but, I do okay. And I don't have to leave my house to matchmake. I got to leave my house to matchmake. I got to be on the phone and talking to people all damn time to matchmake. I'm less garbage today than I was yesterday. He says, salute greatness. Less garbage than yesterday, but better than most on anyway. Fannon, stay grinding. Thank you, dog. I'm trying my best to get better, man. Trying to get better. Trying to keep it paid. Hey, and where my man Valentine at? I listened to what you said, Matthew Valentine, and I've been waiting for you. You gave me a big criticism one time, and I take any criticism from Matthew Valentine very, very seriously. And I think I've corrected it, and I've benefited from it greatly. Thank you, Matthew Valentine. I cannot wait till this damn lawnmower people get the fuck from away around my window with this shit blowing in my ear. Fannon, if that is true, why didn't Arum feed Manny to Crawford? Because it's not in his financial interest to feed Manny to Terrence Crawford. Manny is... This is only going to take a couple more seconds. I'm getting kind of used to this. Manny makes a lot of money for Bob. Manny makes a lot of money for Bob. Okay? If Terrence Crawford beats Manny, then Manny will not be able to earn money for Bob anymore. There you go. And he didn't believe in Terrence Crawford. You hear how he describes Terrence Crawford. He's never supported Terrence Crawford as being the best fighter in boxing until Lomachenko lost. And I'm telling you, as soon as Teofimo Lopez gets a decent win, Teofimo Lopez is going to be better than Terrence Crawford. However, I think that the main reason, besides the fact that he don't like to sell black fighters, is that the age difference between Terrence Crawford, when he was coming up, Manny Pacquiao was closer to his prime and you were still able to make money off of him. But he did give the fight to Jeff Hearn. He did sign Jeff Hearn to a 2-fight deal and give that fight to Jeff Hearn. And I bet that he would give that fight in a minute to Jose Ramirez. I don't think he gave him that fight because Terrence Crawford would have beat Manny Pacquiao, and that was not his plan, to make Terrence Crawford the number one guy. His plan is to make Vasily Lomachenko the guy. And if you remember, he talked openly about making the fight between Vasily Lomachenko and Manny Pacquiao. The end game I think that the end game for Lomachenko was to get Manny Pacquiao in a situation where Manny Pacquiao had to drain down to maybe 136 or some shit like that to fight Vasily Lomachenko, and they might have believed that Manny Pacquiao would have, if Lomachenko could have went the distance, Lomachenko would have got the decision over Manny Pacquiao. But I don't think Manny Pacquiao, like Lomachenko said he wasn't willing to move up in weight, and Manny Pacquiao wasn't going to make that fight. But I do believe that that's something that Bob Arum wanted to do, and if he could have made that fight, and he definitely would have made that fight, because that would have been a pay-per-view fight with Lomachenko, something that they were never able to do because really Lomachenko has never been a star. You know? They're not able to sell him. But they tried with all that Lomachenko shit, all that Lomachenko where everybody was quitting. Why'd everybody stop quitting all the damn sudden? Why wasn't nobody quitting at 126 and he actually lost and had a majority decision at 126? All of a sudden he fights a bunch of dudes that ain't got no chance, some no hope dudes at 130, and they all start quitting. And he gets a reputation for people quitting. Very, very convenient. Very, very convenient. But at least that's my take on Lomachenko. Avian the Bible said, salute, I'm actually going to pay closer attention to the undercard of Canelo versus Spence than the actual main event. Cecil Fielder said, but it's not about racism. Dude, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Yes, the fuck it is. If you mistreat somebody because they have color in their skin, that is racism. That's what it is. It's mistreatment of people because they've got color in their skin. When you do not allow a fighter to have an opportunity to fight and you blackball them for financial reasons, that is racism. Slavery was financial too, stupid. Okay? It was financial too. However, they weren't snatching little Yugoslavian kids and bringing them over to the United States. They snatched a bunch of Africans and brought them over. They chose the race to mistreat. Okay? You can call mistreatment from other people in other circumstance some other type of fucking ism. But do not get, just because I can explain the mechanism of it and their justification, that does not fall underneath the umbrella of racism, because it does. You can financially justify any fucking thing. Okay? And if it's just, oh yeah, the reason I didn't give the black dude the job is because it was more of a financial thing, because I believe that the Yale guy had a better network and he would work out and be able to talk to members of the community more easily than this guy from the south side of Chicago that has a better GPA, right? But for a financial reason, I'm going to give it to this guy because I think he represents our organization better and he can go golf with my customers more easily and they can crack jokes and all of that shit. Okay? That is a financial reason, but that is racist. Because you are putting a financial value on the race. Now, on the other hand, whenever Bob Arum finds a slick southpaw that is not black American, he's okay with them. What do you think Lomachenko is? What do you think Manny Pacquiao is? Manny Pacquiao is a slick southpaw. The same person that you would not give a fight if he was black. Exactly. He has the ability from the southpaw stance to stay out of range and get in range very quickly. He is very powerful. He's very awkward, and he's extremely athletic. Manny Pacquiao would not even get signed by fucking Top Rank if he was black. There's a significant chance of that. What do you mean now I'm learning? Nigga, don't talk. Oh, see, dude, Cecil Fielder. Bro, you about to get thrown the fuck up out of here. Straight up, you learning. Matter of fact, let me teach you. Now let me teach you by throwing you the fuck up out of here. Nigga, I'm 51 years old. You ain't teaching me shit. Take your ass to another channel. You distracting me. You playing fucking games to get all around to that? I talk about that every day. And I don't have to talk about it directly. Do not be a distraction. That is a fucking distraction. I don't have to be explicit all the time about what people know already. Okay? If you don't know, that's your problem. Gotta get up out of here, dog. What's going on, CJ, Texas? Let me get myself a drink of water and get back on topic. What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, Caesar? But here's the problem, dumbass. Since we ain't here to teaching. Here's the fucking problem. I don't know that it is racist. I don't know it. And that is where, if I followed your dumbass, I would always walk into a fucking wall. I don't walk into a wall with them because I never accuse them of things that I don't know happened. I cannot get inside the mind of somebody and distinguish whether it is financial or whether it is not. The only way that I will know is if somebody actually tells me that's the reason why. So in the circumstance, dummy, where somebody tells me, oh yes, I decided to hire Steve instead of LeBron because Steve is from Glenbard. He went to the same high school as the CEO of IBM's son. And they have a great relationship. And the CEO of IBM, who's a huge customer of mine, introduced me to him. So I didn't hire Stevie because Stevie ain't cool with him. But that just keeps happening over and over and over again. Okay? I can't say whether or not it's purely he don't like LeBron and he just loves every Stevie coming through the building. I don't know that. But I've been in business enough and long enough to know that those are real considerations, and it's stupid to call somebody something if you don't know that they are. The only thing that you can do is suspect it and protect yourself in case that is the situation. Because even though you never know in any particular circumstance, the general circumstance and the likelihood of the occurrences are there. So you have to protect yourself against it, but never directly accuse anyone unless they tell you explicitly that that is the reason that they did it. Otherwise, you're into a logical loop that you're going to lose. Because like I told you, I will beat you bums in an argument even if I'm wrong because you don't know how to argue. So I'm not going to run up into somebody else and lose an argument to them even though they're wrong. Do you get it, dummy? I'm not in the business of losing arguments to people, even though I'm right. So I could think David Duke was the biggest race. And if he had never said it, if he had never come out that closet, I would never accuse him of it. I would just say, look, everybody around David Duke, you better assume that he is. Suspect and assume the worst in that situation. And that's all you can tell somebody to do. Anything beyond that, sir, is a distraction, and you're actually advising people to lose arguments. Because y'all ain't won argument. You have never won an argument calling somebody that. Ever. because you've never been able to prove it, and they've always been able to beat you by doing what? Pointing to 2 or 3 black people that they like. They have a counterexample for every one of your examples because you accuse them. And once you accuse them, guess what? And you can't prove it. You're wrong. But you can prove the general circumstances that apply and happen on a consistent basis. Now, have you learned? Do not try to pull me out of the closet on what I think, okay? And by out of the closet, pause, I mean this. Sometimes I will tell you that I think something is racist. Other times I will not tell you that because I don't have what's necessary to back that up. However, when Top Rank talks about no black fighters, NBFs, that's a fact, sir. They had, and that is something that Cameron Duncan said, that they had something that used to be up long time ago, way back in the day, even though the same people that he's talking about still work at Top Rank right now. Trampler, I do believe he still works there. Okay? Bob Arum is 150 years old. He still works there. They might not have it written up because they don't have to write it up on a chalkboard anymore. They ain't got no fucking chalkboards. When is the last time you saw a chalkboard? You ain't got phones. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. That's what it is. Gotta have proof. You can't. That's why people just always, that's why we lose so many arguments. I just watch people run right into a wall. Like, damn, dog, you got this guy dead to rights, and then you go out and accuse him of something you can't prove. But once you can prove it, it's over. You don't have to, like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder proved that Tyson Fury cheated. He proved it to me. So he showed evidence about why he thought Tyson Fury cheated. He wasn't out there, oh, I just think he cheated. I don't know why. Maybe he bribed the judges. Like Lomachenko, if he said that, because did anybody hear him say that? I'm going to ask that. Did anybody actually, where did he say that? So that I can do a video on it. I would definitely do a video on that if I can find where he said that. But I ain't looked, so somebody would have to tell me. And nor do I think. Man, much love in that Cash App to my man DeCarlos said for the grind. Man, thank you so much for the support, man. And also yesterday in that Cash App, much love to my man Nyamembeke. I'm killing that name. Abs. I can't say. I'm not gonna say. Actually, I shouldn't say your name. I'm really glad that I didn't say your name. Said known facts. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we don't have a problem talking about it over here because that's a major impediment to boxing. Why you always got to drag that conversation into boxing? No, dude. Boxing is in the middle of that conversation. Okay? It is a problem that happens in every area of life. Okay? There's nowhere that you're going to walk out and magically pop into a building in the United States or in the Western world where that's not a reality and you don't see color right when you walk in the door because people have been conditioned to do that for 400 years or 500 years or however long it's been. Look, Loma never had no fans. Lomachenko's fans in the United States are a figment of your imagination, okay? I don't believe he has any. I believe the views are bought. I believe the people, all of the trolls and all that stuff that attack you, I believe all that shit is bought. There's nothing that I can tangibly see that tells me that Lomachenko was ever a star. Ever a star. They gave away a ton of tickets to he's fighting in 3,000 seat, he's basically fighting in high school gyms. Hey, how many people can you get into a big high school gym? How big does the gym have to be to get 3,000 people in it? That's bigger than a high school gym. So what is it? Is that like maybe a junior high school? Is that like a junior college football stadium? Can you get 3,000 people in a high school football stadium in Texas? Basically, dog, that's what he was having. He's having like a high school. He was having like like an Illinois State high school basketball game type tickets. You know what I mean? I never thought the dude had any fans to begin with. I think they just make that shit up, dog. Ray Charles said my YouTube account was terminated for calling out Fury's cheating. Well, you probably cussed at him really bad or did something really kind of over the top. But hey, man, boop. I do. It was like a junior college gym. There you go. Yeah, he's fighting in a junior college gym. Okay? I don't believe that shit. It could be in Madden. Whenever I would look at the ticket sales for Lomachenko. First of all, Lomachenko ain't never been on pay-per-view. Not never. Ain't never even came close to it. Okay? Ain't never came close to it. But he was that's why they just kept saying how good he was. Because they hope if they can tell you how good they are, that you will buy. That's not too complicated, is it? That they tell you how good these people are so that you will buy them, right? That's why I'm telling you why Jaron Ennis is so good. That's why I'm telling you that Gary Russell Jr. is so good. Somebody got to do it. Y'all won't. And I'm talking to y'all black folk in my chat, knowing dang well y'all hating on Gary Russell Jr. Shame on you. But that's all right. We'll get together on the next one. But I will stand true for the fighters that deserve a better shot, dog. Because, dude, if Gary Russell Jr. is from the Ukraine, fuck up out of here, dog. That dude would be number one on the pound-for-pound chart easy. Because all he did is lose to Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko, his only loss is Lomachenko. And Lomachenko was still on the pound-for-pound list. Still on the pound-for-pound list, man. But that's all right, black folk. Don't stand up for Gary. Throw Gary under the fucking bus like y'all like to do him. You know what I'm saying? Throw him under the bus. Throw him under the bus while you cry about how black fighters are mistreated. See, it goes both ways, okay? It goes both ways, all right? I'm looking for a troll because I would have made a mama joke up off of that. But it does go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like that troll that was talking to me's mama. See, that's the type of joke I was wanting to tell. The way they attacked Fannon won a Russell fight. Yeah, exactly. He fights tomorrow. Yeah. Dark Truth said the way they attacked Gary Russell was disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Overt. Ridiculously overt. Mudslinging campaign on him. But we'll fuck around and turn around and say how much they support black fighters 5 seconds later. It's like, we support black fighters, but I got to be the only nigga in the room while we do it. That's what it is. Can I talk for real today? About certain types of people? Give me a 1 if I can talk today about certain types of people. Because I want to do it, dog. I haven't been doing my talks like this on the Patreon because I've got the Patreon being boxing and I want it to be but you... Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you how certain people are, dog, in the world, okay? I already told you. This is the dynamics of the black man. This is how I see black men. Now, I can't speak for black women because I'm not a black woman. You would have to have a black woman do this for black women. But I can do it for black men because I've been a black man longer than if my analytics on my channel are correct. I've been a black man longer than all y'all, except for St. Cruising and a couple other people. I've been black longer than you, okay? And I love to say that to younger black men. Shut up, I've been black longer than you. Yeah, you may be dark, but I've been black longer. So shut the fuck up and listen to the kid and what the kid got to say, okay? That's all you got to do to respect your elders. It's just listen to them. Because that's what you would want for yourself. Somebody asked me, what if your elder disrespects you? Well, you got to define respect. And what do you think respect is? Personally, I think respect is not mistreating somebody. That's how I think people interpret it. You step on my fucking shoe. You saw me walk and you stepped on my shoe. That's disrespectful. Why is it disrespectful? Because you stepped on my shoe. You mistreated me. My shoe was not dirty. Your ass stepped on it. That's mistreatment. I'm busting your motherfucking teeth out. That's how cats go on that shit, right? But anyway, I've talked to you guys before about the 3 different type of black men. Relative, and black is always relative to white. It is. So there you go. Here they are. Type one, there's one type of dude. Nobody trusts white dudes. Nobody does. Sorry, it's just what it is. It's a byproduct of common sense and centuries of oppression, okay? That none of us trust Europeans. If you're a European and you've got somebody standing right next to you, be like, nah, he's full of shit. I trust you. He may trust you individually, but he ain't gonna trust your cousins off no blind shit. Believe you. I mean, saying he may figure he's got it figured out and he's safe, but no, he knows damn well. Anyway, so here are the three types. The ones that want to do and they want to be close. They want to be really, really close to, they don't trust you, but they know they love you and they believe all the negative shit that was told about you. So they, about themselves. So they really are, trying to do whatever it is. That's kind of like the Terry Crews, right? Terry Crews is the type of guy that will do anything that Europeans want him to do, right? And because I do believe that all of the negative stereotypes that there are about black people, he probably takes upon himself. You know what I mean? And he wants to prove himself. Then there's the group of people that don't necessarily want to prove themselves, but they're kind of in the middle. They know what the situation is, so they're just going to be silent and go on about their business, right? Then you've got the people that openly say, I don't trust you and I don't want nothing to do with you. And they're going to be very active about trying to solve the fucking problem, right? You get me? So 1 loves you, 2 is ambivalent, 3 can't stand them, right? Now, what happens when a number 1, with the number 2, I should say number 2 like this. What happens when a number 2 decides that they'll play both sides? They know they have a value in that they can talk to the European for the black or the white for the black, because otherwise, what good are they? You are no good. Okay, just whenever you're a middleman in those type of work situations and you're connecting like an Al Sharpton or a politician, any of those dudes, Barack Obama at a point, right? And still kind of Barack Obama. The importance of them is that they represent, or they're a figurehead for the masses of everybody else. And because they look like everybody else, but they speak in the manner in which they are expected to speak, they're very useful. But as soon as black people ain't got no time for them, then the majority community is not going to have time for them. Why? Because you can't token because they don't like you no more, right? So as soon as people turned on Bill Cosby, you can throw Bill Cosby in a garbage can. Same thing goes for any type of politician. Certain people know that, and they try to be, let me speak to the people. I will speak to the people, and I'll be the man of the people, but I'm professional. And I can be trusted. And I'll never treat you bad, Mr. Man. And whenever there's a bad situation, Mr. Man, I'll be right out there to try to help that situation out. And I will speak to my people. That is what pastors do all the damn time. Right? They're in the church all the time. And I'm sorry if I offend any of y'all, but I'm a Baptist. I was raised a Baptist. And you're in church and you're talking about God and what you should do and how to act right and don't steal and don't do this and don't do that. And then as soon as something happens down the street where somebody gets hurt, they say forgive, right? Act right 24/7 and then forgive if any problems happen. And what do they get in exchange? Tax exemptions. That's literally what I'm talking about. But you see that in boxing too. You get the guy that's going to be the in-between guy. But watch him. Is he really a number 2? Is he really a number 3? Or is he a number 1 pretending to be a number 3? Or a number 2 pretending to be a number 3. See, I'm like a 2.5. I'm a 2.5 for sure. I think that we all brothers. I really do. Genetically speaking, I think we're all related because that's just what it is. So the concept of race to me seems very artificial and less secure than say what somebody's sex is. But we live in a world where Rachel Dolezal is attacked viciously for saying that she could be categorized as something that is totally subjective, while what's that motherfucker's name? Bruce Jenner. Like I called him Bruce. I should be thrown out of the country because I didn't call him Katie or whatever his name is or her name is, right? I got to change my pronouns for him or her or she, he, or whatever she, he, they, us, whatever decides to be named, right? And I ain't got no problem against it. No disrespect at all. But that is subjective, but it's being treated as if it's objective. Race is completely subjective, and it's treated as objective. That's what I got to say about those type of dudes. You gaming, dog, because you either all the way for black people or you not. One or the other, dog, okay? If you mistreating one black dude, you mistreat black people. I don't care if you treat 15 other black dudes well. Fuck difference does it make to me? You got all kind of, like I said earlier in the conversation. It's the same thing, right? Just like somebody that could be a straight out, be European and not like people with color in their skin at all. And you call them racist, you cannot prove that. They win the argument. Why? Because they've got multiple counterexamples of people that they love. They've got a daughter, right? They have a wife that's black, and they have a daughter that's black. Their whole family's black, right? Their friends in high school were black. They got all kind of counterexamples of your one independent testimony about them, okay? And if they don't have them, they'll get more to come and testify for them. So you can't accuse them of that, dog. You just can't do it. Or you're going without proof, or you just lose the argument. Anyway, the reason that I brought that up was, though, with black fighters in particular, dog, some of y'all just phony as shit. Like, for real, y'all are plugs for. Now, see, that's how I know intuitively who's a plug for a camp and who's a boxing fan. Plugs for camps are the ones that will say, no, he's garbage. He's garbage. There's no way in the world Shakur deserves a fight with Chris Colbert. Nah, we got 600 people in the building every morning, dog. I believe you're with his camp or something, okay? Because there ain't no reason in the world some reasonable person don't want to see Shakur Stevenson and Chris Colbert fight, okay? If that shit was happening next week, I'd buy a fucking ticket, okay? But that doesn't work for Shakur Stevens' plan, right? So just so y'all know, when you come up in here with that bullshit, I know who you are by who you ask, how you respond, okay? And Jaron Ennis is a beast, okay? Don't try to make no damn excuses for why people ain't got to fight Jaron Ennis and Jaron ain't ready. And people will do it to Terrence Crawford. Come on, man. Look, I know Terrence Crawford been fighting a bunch of who gives a fucks, okay? I know, right? It's been who gives a fuck a month. You know how Joe Louis had a bum in a month club? Terrence Crawford got a who gives a fuck of the year club. Okay, that's him. Like, who gives a fuck of the year? A fight of the year. Is it Kell Brook or was it which I don't give a fuck fight of Terrence Crawford's was the best. That's the problem with Terrence Crawford. But it is not that he can't fight. Okay? It's not that he can't fight. When I gave my breakdown of why, for example, I know Canelo Alvarez can fight. I'm telling you, I don't think he wants that. I don't think Eddie Reynoso wants that fight for Errol Spence Jr. I don't think Eddie Reynoso wants these fights for Canelo. I think Canelo wants these fights. I don't think Chapo and Eddie, I don't think they want that smoke. And you know why? Because your boy Fannon has been learning a lot about boxing. Yes, I have. I've been studying a lot about boxing, dog. And there's one thing I can tell you for sure. When I study something, dog, it may take a little bit, but when I get that shit, I get that shit, okay? And I did it with tennis. I can tell you who was winning the U.S. Open. I can tell you exactly whose strokes was what and why this guy is better than that guy and how this particular guy can throw that guy off or this girl can throw that girl off or why a matchup for, say, for Serena Williams, right? People would be surprised that Serena Williams lost. I'd be like, no, she was fighting. She was playing Simona Halep. Simona Halep's game is very difficult for Serena if Serena's serve ain't on, right? But Serena is going to bust Sharapova every fucking trip because her game is built to beat Sharapova. because Sharapova ain't nothing but a fucking knockoff, a rich poor woman's version of Venus. That's it. That's all Sharapova ass ever was a poor woman's Venus Williams. Okay? That's all she ever was. So whenever she ran up into Sharapova, whenever she ran up into Serena, she's gonna get that ass whooped. Because she'd be like, damn, dog, you ain't even as good as my sister. And I played my sister's athletic. All you can do is hit. I'm telling you, their styles make fights. Canelo don't like speed, homie. Is Roger Federer the GOAT? Without a doubt. Serena's the GOAT. For real. The greatest tennis player ever is Serena Williams. And by a grip, okay? She's the shit. Roger Federer is the best men's player ever. I'll put it that way. Because as good as Roger Federer is, and as much as he's accomplished, it ain't nothing like what Serena accomplished. And unlike other men and women's sports, women's tennis is deep as shit. Okay? It is 1,000 women deep. Okay? 1,000 women deep. World class. It's not like boxing, okay? Boxing, you got a couple people at the top, then you get a little gap. Not tennis. Tennis is deep as shit. Now that upper echelon, they separate themselves, but still they get beat. Nah, dude, it's Roger Federer, dog. It's Roger Federer. It's Roger Federer. Roger Federer's a fucking god on that bitch, dog. Seriously. Roger Federer is one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen in my life, man. Roger Federer is fucking just pause. I rarely say this about an athlete. His footwork is beautiful. His shit is like otherworldly footwork, dog. Seriously, he's gifted beyond gifted beyond gifted. That is one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen, Roger Federer. No doubt about it, dog. Like, no doubt about it, one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. You got to watch Roger Federer, dude. It's otherworldly, man. Seriously. Coco Gauff? Yeah, I watch Coco Gauff. I don't really fuck with tennis anymore because I'm on boxing. So I don't really mess. Is she the GOAT female athlete? Her or Jackie Joyner-Kersee? It's either she or Jackie Joyner-Kersee. I would probably lean towards Jackie Joyner-Kersee, maybe a little bit towards Jackie Joyner-Kersee, but nah, Serena probably, yeah. Serena probably, yeah. Yeah, Serena probably red. Yeah, but Nadal ain't Federer, dog. Nadal ain't Federer, dog. Nadal ain't Federer. Trust me, Nadal ain't Federer. Federer was on the downslide when that dude showed up, and Federer's still killing it. Seriously, Federer is was one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. He's just another world, dog, for real, of an athlete. His foot speed, his reaction, it's just, I hate to say it, it's beautiful. Like that's why I say it's like pause, but the only way that I can describe his movement is beautiful. It's just, he's so gifted. It's like his feet barely touch the ground, man. Incredible athlete, dog. Incredible athlete. FloJo was on steroids. Fuck FloJo. I mean, rest in peace. But FloJo was juicing. I ain't trying to hear shit about FloJo. FloJo, 40 years old, all of a sudden busts out with them times, man. Ain't nobody come close to them times yet. That chick was juiced to the gills, man. Djokovic ain't on his level, dog. I mean, nobody. Dude, Djokovic in his prime is having problems with a faded Roger Federer. But look, Djokovic is the man. Nadal's the man. A lot of these guys were really, really good, but the proof is in the pudding with Federer. Federer ain't no joke, dog. Federer is let me tell you something, Big Dog Willie. Let me tell you something about that Federer dude, dog. He's something fucking nice. He may not be a Bo Jackson, but he damn sure a Jerry Rice, dog. Okay? He damn sure Jerry Rice. He may not be Bo Jackson, but he's damn sure Jerry Rice. Hey, for real, I'm just telling you straight up. That motherfucker right there is one of the cold-bloodedest athletes I've ever seen in my life. No doubt about it. And I know tennis. It's just why I'm telling you, he's really like that. No, Canelo's not fighting on the undercard. He's fighting on his own card. Jaron Ennis is headlining his own card on HBO, on Showtime, excuse me. Yeah, he's like that, dog. Like the greatest. Like maybe you could say Randy Moss was better than Jerry Rice. I'm just telling you, dog. I mean, look, Gary Rice, he's like that. He's He's really like that. Nah, he's better. Let me put it this way. Roger Federer is a better tennis player than Deion Sanders is a football player. Easy. like Roger Federer is a better tennis player. Okay, here you go. Here you go, Roger Federer. Roger Federer deserves every bit of the fucking accolades given to Tom Brady and then some. There you go. Tom Brady, all that celebration of Tom Brady, he's the greatest ever, all that. Just imagine that football is fair and that they don't change the rules not to allow you to hit quarterbacks, right? That the rules weren't manipulated. He ain't got no special privileges as a quarterback, and he still put up the same numbers. That's Roger Federer. You know what I'm saying? Federer is better than Deion Sanders. As a tennis player, absolutely, dude. The only football player I'll tell you the football players that are close to Roger Federer as football players. Jim Brown. Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying? I don't know football like that. Who's the shit? You know what I'm saying? Babe Ruth. There you go. Roger Federer is like the fucking Babe Ruth of tennis. That's Roger Federer. He's the Babe Ruth of tennis. But he deserves it. And yeah, he's like that. Now, I would say this, though. That if black men played tennis, that would not be the case. Like, if black men really, really, really played tennis, that would not remotely be the case. That shit would change overnight. And the reason why I say that shit would change overnight is because that's what happened to women's tennis. Because women's tennis is the number one if I was the parent of Clarissa Shields, ain't no fucking way in the world Clarissa Shields would have been boxing. Her ass would be out there working, playing on that, get on that tennis. Nope, you want to be a pro athlete? Get your ass on that tennis court. Get your ass over there on that tennis court, dog, and get to rolling. Yep, there you go. It is. Yeah, he's the Michael Jordan of tennis. Absolutely. He is. He's the Michael Jordan of tennis. He is. Borg versus Federer for GOAT. Yeah, Borg was a monster. Borg was a monster. I grew up on Bjorn Borg. Bjorn Borg was a monster. Who else was a monster, dog? They be lying about how big dudes are, though, because I met Boris Becker. Boris Becker ain't no dang 6'3". Anyway, yeah, Zeus is up out there barking at everybody, man. Anyway, let's get on this boxing, man. Sorry about that. I'm way off topic. I'm on tennis, on all kind of other stuff. The Michael Jordan of tennis. Yeah, he's just sick. He's sick, dog. He's sick with it. That's what he is. He's sick with it. Like, Roger's sick with it. He do whatever he want to do, man. True, if I get a daughter, she's doing tennis or volleyball. Like, this is how I would tell you to only do this. Okay? These are the only people that should have their daughters get into tennis. Black men. The only ones that should do this. If you can do this, definitely do tennis. If you got money, number one. If you got money. If you are a professional and you make good money and you are an athlete, you have to have been an athlete. Preferably in soccer, okay? So if you want to make your daughter a tennis star, I would say, number one, put her in soccer first. Well before you put her in tennis, make her go through at least a year, 2 years of soccer at an early age. Once she has soccer down, She's running, kicking the ball, doing all that, can score goals and do all that. Then pluck her and take her to tennis. Pluck her and take her to tennis. You know what I'm saying? Pluck her and take her to tennis. And then after you pluck her and take her to tennis, then you got to know structure. You've got to be able to, and then she'll kill people, dog. But watch, AMG, Coco Gauff is a grown-ass woman. See, that's a misnomer in tennis. That's a misnomer in tennis right here. The golf, but see, that's a grown woman. When you're 15, you might be as good as you ever going to be in tennis. And women, a woman 15, she's a full-grown woman. We'll see how her body coordinates and all of that. But no, seriously, soccer first, like soccer first, or basketball. Soccer, but more soccer than basketball because everybody's got to be able to run in soccer. You were a D1 track athlete, then yeah. If you're a D1 track athlete, absolutely. But where do you live? You know what I'm saying? Where do you live? But yeah, no, I think athleticism and a strong support base, because being a black tennis player sucks. It's the fucking worst. And Naomi Osaka, she is the classiest person. She is so classy. Like, my daughter I know who's really about it in tennis when my daughter likes them, because they're like around the same age. She rides with Naomi Osaka and she rides with Coco Gauff. Like, they're in the same, like, people, you know, second and third degrees of separation. So she rocks with them and says, so when she talks about Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff, I'm telling you, them black girls are going to be they're going to be winning tennis for a very long time. It's and disproportionately because of the athleticism. The athleticism is real. Like, you can't beat, like, being a super athlete, that shit counts, man. B Fitness said being a black soccer player sucks. Yeah, absolutely it sucks. Because you're out there by yourself. Shit sucks, man. Like, sucks. Sucks. Okay? Let me tell you, it sucks. But not a lot of black people know that, because not a lot of black people have ever been just by themselves. So sometimes I think black people in inner city neighborhoods, like, don't really appreciate what they have sometimes. Like, there's a lot of things that you don't have, and I would never belittle that, right? I would never belittle that. I would never say that you know, that like the real life struggles that people have in the inner city aren't real, and, you know, wanting money and having to worry about crime and, you know, pain and all that stuff, all the stuff. But one thing that you have that you should never underestimate, and which is why I think gangs are good. What? Yeah, I think gangs are good. The nature of them, I love them. The nature of them. Because it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing to be together, to work together towards a common cause. The problem is when that common cause is something that's non-constructive, right? That's the problem. The idea that young black men want to be around each other, want to laugh, want to have fun, want to earn money together, that's one of the most beautiful things it can be. And that should be encouraged at all costs. In my belief, right? Just have to have a positive goal for it, right? But if you have a goal that is not just destructive, right? Because non-constructive, like I use 3 words for it. Like, you have constructive, which means you're building something. Non-constructive means you're not building anything, right? So wasting your time, like me just sitting here picking my boogers and throwing them at the wall to see if I can hit a spot, that shit's non-constructive because I'm not doing anything with my time. I mean, how do you define constructive? That is working towards something that you have. I have a goal, right? I want a boxing community that is highly interactive, that is large, highly interactive, and very influential in making fights happen, right? So what I do, the things that I do are either constructive, non-constructive, or destructive, depending on how they affect my goal. So gangs, by and large, are destructive, right? They can be non-constructive. So smoking the weed, sitting around, blah, blah, blah. That's non-constructive. You're just not doing anything. It can be constructive in a sense in that it's financially constructive, right? But you risk so much going to jail and all that other stuff that it's really the average is pulling you towards not destructive, right? But what is to be constructive? That is what gangs, if they did that, that's what they would be. And I'm telling you, when I joined Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and I'm only going to call Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity because that's what you can look it up by. We literally had the same principles. We have the same signals. We got the same shit. It's literally the same shit. The only difference is that it's constructive in the sense that everybody is working towards graduating college and becoming a professional, right? And everything is focused that way. Now, the things that you do a lot of times during the daytime can be non-constructive, which is why you can study for long periods of time and another person can study half the time, but they get more work done because there was no period of time in which they were working in which they were either destructive or non-constructive, right? They were just constructive. Where other people spend a lot of time doing shit, but they waste a lot of time. There's a lot of dead time in it. So you can work all day, but not actually achieve or construct anything. So practicing your booger aim, Fannon. Yes. I used to have spitball aim out the wazoo, dog. Said that was the reason the Crips in the beginning to protect the community. Yeah. And see, then you become non-constructive and then you are encouraged to be destructive. It's a progression, you know? However, as it relates to boxing, it ain't constructive to put Canelo in there with Errol Spence Jr. because the dude's too fast. I think he's going to hurt him. Give me some boxing questions. I'm sorry. I'm trying on a Friday to get rid of as many people I don't like out of this chat as possible. So I got like 556 people in here. Yeah. What you think? Who y'all think will be the second man to beat Canelo? If he fought him, Jamal Charlo. It's going to be somebody smaller than him and somebody quicker than him. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to beat Canelo if you're not going to beat Canelo if you're slow. And that's the problem. No, you don't got me, BL. Work smart and hard. No, work smarter and work harder. Those are not mutually exclusive things. No, if you want to achieve something in your life and you want to be singly minded, you work smarter, and working smarter gives you more capacity. When you have more capacity, then you increase your output. You work hard and smart, okay? Because if all you're doing is working smart, and I'm working smart and harder, I'm going to beat you. You're not fucking with me just working smart, because I'm going to work smart and I'm going to work hard, okay? Sunday mornings, I don't even know what a fucking Saturday is anymore, dude. For real. Like, that's the stage in my life that I want to get to. I don't even see Saturdays and Sundays. Like, it's another day that God gave me on this earth. And I can be constructive during it. Because if I sit around on Saturday and Sunday, I am being non-constructive. And just because, exactly, I like that smarter and harder. You work smarter and harder. Constantly smart. And but then, you know, that's for everybody, dude. That's not everybody, you know? But that's what I think, like when they say boxers like Floyd Mayweather, that's what Floyd Mayweather Jr. did. Floyd Mayweather Jr. didn't work. He's like, yeah, it's about working smarter for me, not harder. Yeah, see, for him, it is. Because he could not get his body. Well, actually, he's not even he was working harder at rest. Like, have you ever really been has anybody ever been a workaholic? What's going on, my man? B Fitness said, preach this morning. It's what it is. Fuck all that smarter and harder. Because these guys is going to cheat you. They're going to lie on you. They're going to do a lot of shit. So you got to be like a metronome. Boop, boop, boop. And when somebody tries to get you and they try to catch your pace, you speed up that pace. Boop, 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 boop. That's why I know that Canelo going to get Liam up out of there in like 9 rounds. Maurice Baldwin said, if you don't consider that an IBO a major belt for AJ, How is it a belt that you recognize for Jaron Ennis? Also, why is Canelo fight not getting much promo? Okay, first, I do not consider the IBO a major belt for Jaron Ennis. So let's get there. Let's get that there. When you watch my video, what I said was, fuck it. Let him be a champion too. Like Riley Romero is a champion, right? Like Devin Haney is a champion. The WBC is saying that the WBC regular is not a major championship belt, right? So is the franchise belt the real belt, or is the regular belt a real belt? Because if the regular belt is the regular WBC is the belt, then Devin Haney's the champion and Teofimo Lopez is not the WBC champion. But you've got people with regular belts like, Gennady Golovkin they said it on the Zone yesterday. They said Gennady Golovkin's going for his record-breaking 22nd title defense. He had the WBA regular for like 12 of those or 13 of them, but they counted as a championship. So what I'm saying is, hey, I like Jaron Ennis. He's the champion. He's the IBO champion. I respect the IBO champion more than I respect the Bridgerweight champion, and they're going to be coming up with a Bridgerweight championship too. So I was being a little bit tongue-in-cheek with that. So no, Jaron Ennis will not be a major champion after this win. Unless his name was Manny Pacquiao, at which point in time, the media would treat him like he's the champion, similar to the way they did Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury wasn't a champion, and they talked about how many lineal title defenses they have. They will just pull a title up out the ass and give it to whoever they want. So I decided to pull one off the table, the IBO, and say, hey, that's what Jaron Ennis is fighting for. Consider him a champion. But at the same time, I know. Now, why is Canelo fight not getting much promo? It's getting a lot of promo. I've done at least, on this channel, I might have done 4 videos on Canelo. Got another one coming up today. Here's the problem. It's getting a lot of promo, but people don't give a fuck. Canelo Alvarez has not been in a major fight in several years. He took a bunch of money to go hide away on a network. Not hide away, but he took a lot of money to go sit on another network and not have people watch him. So you have to try very hard to get people interested in Canelo Alvarez who are not already Canelo Alvarez fans. So the way that I've done it is I've talked about things unrelated to Canelo Alvarez, but connecting Canelo Alvarez to them. Nah, that's really what it is. Like most of his, and I don't know if you're Spanish speaking or not, but I suspect he's getting a lot of promotion on the Spanish speaking channels. But in the English speaking community, not so much, because he's been hidden away. We lost 50 when you started on tennis, Fannon. Yeah, I didn't lose shit. They'll be back. I never had them if they walked away. You know what I'm saying? None of y'all are me. I don't know none of y'all. I don't care about losing numbers, man. I don't care about this shit. I mean, I care about it, but I don't care about it at the same time. Like, look, man, if I wanted to have like 1,000 people in my stream, I would be going at a different time slot, right? That's what I would do. Okay. But I just don't really care like that. Like live streams for me is to have really good conversations with you. It's fun for me. Really, really fun for me. But there was a time when I considered not doing them at all. Like, nah, I don't really like the fight. Like the thing of it is, well, I won't get you into like how my mind works, but I'm very analytical with numbers. Like, and I really do want to be productive as I can be. And like that time frame that I had at 11:30, that shit was highly unproductive. Like that show, and I love that you guys supported me in the super chats and all that. But some of y'all may not realize, but that show was really costing me money. It was like, I felt like I was getting up at like 11:30. I was starting at 11:30 and I would be like, yeah, this is going to cost me like $30 to do this live stream, but I want to chop it up with you. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of funny like that, man. The most important thing is that you guys support these fighters and then we just have, it comes and it goes, man. It comes and it goes. Mel Bro says fun for us too. Yes, said Fannon could use his old outro to boost ratings. No, I don't need any boost ratings. dude, my live stream gets more dude, I do very, very good numbers, dog. Like, I'm very happy with the support that I'm getting from you guys, okay? Like, there's shit's good around these parts, dog, and I appreciate you guys so much, okay? I'm fine. Like, I'm doing I'm fine. And I really appreciate you guys' support. True Benjamin said, Loma said, what? I don't know. Did he say it or not? Says, Hiram Lopez says, Spanish delegation don't give a flying fuck about Canelo. Oh, man said, how many likes we showing now? Dog, let me tell you something, dog. Can I tell you what we do? You guys that want to look, here are the numbers, okay? 170,000 views in the last 2 days. That's how many views you guys, how many of you all have supported me over the last 2 days. 120,000 people, okay? The fact that we're going to have 5,000 or 6,000 people, 7,000, 8,000 people come in and out of this chat, it's a blessing. It is nothing to complain about. Trust me. There was a time when I would get on a live stream, there would be 50 people here, 30 people. I remember when I would do a video and if I got 1,000 views on that video, I was so elated, so happy, right? Because I was like, yeah, man, my message is getting out. People like what I do. You know what I mean? So at this point in time, I mean, I want to grow. We're going to engage more because I think we can really do something in the sport of boxing that can like mean something. You know, like people thought when we had that negotiation that took place on the channel between Devin Haney's camp and Gary Russell Jr.'s camp, it was a really nice thing to see and go through. When we can harness our ability to have the people in our own community treated fairly by the people in our own community, when we can raise the profile of black fighters within the black community, that's all we need to do. We don't need to reach out, and I'm talking about for fighters that may be our cousins, fighters that may come out of our neighborhoods, fighters that in Baltimore, fighters in Philadelphia, in Dallas, and you guys, when they sell this idea of being international, you don't need to be international. You need to be dominant domestically. You need to be the dominant American domestic fighter. Because when you are that, the whole world will come to you. That's what it is. That's how it worked for Mike Tyson. Once Mike Tyson became dominant on a domestic level, right? By everybody, look at Mike Tyson's knockout. Mike Tyson's knockout. Mike Tyson's knockout. Everybody then starts watching Mike Tyson. And then when everybody's watching Mike Tyson and rocking with Mike Tyson, then everybody else outside of our community starts coming into Mike Tyson and looking at Mike Tyson and supporting Mike Tyson. And that's why I do believe you really never ever see black fighters really progress that do not start within that community first and go out from there. Because that's why I believe like Errol Spence Jr.'s early part of his career is so much more profitable and so much more and growing so much better, and Gervonta Davis's is than say somebody like Terrence Crawford. Because Terrence Crawford or the organization that he's a part of isn't really a part of the community. And even though the PBC may not want to, they can't help but be, because a lot of the people that work for them and fight for them are parts of the community. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what we need to do to grow our fighters. And I mean grow our fighters and get the fights that we want to see. More importantly than growing the fighter is having fights that we want to see. You know, because the truth of the matter is, dog, I believe, I won't say the truth of it is, I think there's a lot of great black fighters that are sitting out in the street and ain't fighting no more. I think that there are some fighters out there, and you guys can tell me if this is true. Are there black fighters out there right now who are not fighting that are better if they had the same resources and the same support, that are better than many of the contenders and the guys that are actually out there fighting and getting the fights? How many guys just could have been an Errol Spence but just didn't get to be one? Right? Either because they didn't have the support in the amateurs like Errol Spence Jr. had from his family, right? Or the support Gervonta Davis had in the amateurs is from, Calvin Ford is the name, right? But you'll get my point, man. But anyway, look, let me get up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. Make sure you guys go over to my man, 78 Sports TV, who's coming up next, and then my man, Black Fight Fan TV after that. Also, make sure, they said Gary Russell Jr. Yeah, no, you're funny. Gary Russell Jr. Yeah, he said, yeah, there are fighters out there that are better than the pros, that are better, more talented, and could do more, but are never going to get the shot, right? In their own country. While you have people, and I don't want to sound like Donald Trump, but you got people, but they're importing fighters left, right, front, and center in here to be shown. Yes, you got plenty of American fighters that can't find a fight, can't earn a living doing the thing that they do. But that's not the case in the UK, because the UK has they have a domestic scene. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.